Hey everyone, Cynthia Ray here. I am back for day 4 of our 5-day Fat Loss After 40 Bootcamp Challenge. I hope you've been learning a lot this week. I know I've been excited to share some really cool information about everything aging for women. So I hope it's helped, and I really hope that you've learned some really cool things this week. And I've heard some really great feedback from a lot of you, and I'm excited to hear that you're learning and enjoying. So today we're going to focus on the 4th habit of women who are fit, fabulous, and fierce after 40. So this is what they do all the time. So this habit happens to be cleansing and detoxing, specifically liver detoxing and Candida and parasite cleansing annually. So making sure to cleanse your body annually and to detox is really important just for your general wellness overall. And it's something I believe that I really believe that we have lost track of over these generations. And generations ago, I actually asked my mom and then asked if her mom remembers this too, if she remembers us doing this with her mom, is detoxing and cleansing over the years. So my mom remembers being little, and she grew up in Nicaragua, and she lived on her grandfather's ranch. And once a year, they would get all the ranch hands and everybody who lived in the home, they'd all line up and get a little bit of she kind of doesn't really even know what it is, but a little bit of a plant extract from the jungle, and they would grind it up, put it in water, and everybody would drink it as their annual cleanse for parasites. So that's something that we really need to get a hold of, and I really want to inspire people to start doing that again, because if you've never done it, you have them. And if you do it annually, you still have them, because they're just a part of our system. And I'll get into that in a bit more detail. So let's go ahead and dive in. So we had homework yesterday, and today's winner for the homework is Darcy Papa. So congratulations, Darcy, on winning the homework raffle for this past couple days. And I will be sending you whatever you would like. If you would like either my Fat Loss After 40 book, or if you'd like my Sugar Detox book, or the journal that goes with it, or the other book that I have here. Here's the journal. And then I also have the Stories of His Glory book, book of testimonials, amazing stories in here for inspiration. And then also if you'd like a coupon for my Etsy store. So let me know which of those you'd prefer, and I will send it your way. So congratulations, Darcy, and thanks for participating this week with our homework. All right, so as usual, we meet for 30 minutes a day. We meet at 8:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, 11:30 a.m. Eastern. And we're meeting each day for these 30 minutes together to teach you how to be fit, fabulous, and fierce over 40, after 40. All right. So before I get started with detoxing and cleansing, let me go ahead and describe to you the difference between detoxing, cleansing, and fasting. So those words many times are used interchangeably. For example, let's start here. A detox actually is what you would do to remove toxins from your body through dietary changes. So changing up your diet, fasting, or supplements. So that's detoxing. Excuse me. Cleansing is more of a short-term dietary program aimed at removing specific foods or food groups to jumpstart weight loss and or improve digestion. Okay. And then fasting in itself is actually both detoxing and cleansing, which is really cool. It offers both of those things. You can reset your body from the inside out, improve your digestion, help to jumpstart your weight loss, and remove toxins from your body. So it does both with actually doing nothing, by refraining from food for periods of time, plus drinking lots of water and having some electrolytes in there. You can really start to self-heal your body, detox, and cleanse at the same time. So fasting itself just refers to refraining from food for a period of time. On the other hand, people say, oh, I'm starving, which they're actually not, right? So starving technically means not having the choice to eat or not. So that basically means that no food is available to even have the choice to eat, which is unfortunately is actually starvation. So there's 2 types of cleanses that I do in my group and with my online clients, my one-on-one clients. And the first one is a 7-day liver detox. And the second one is a parasite and Candida cleanse. So we start with the 7-day liver detox to reset your liver health, clear it of all the toxins in there, allow your body to more easily burn body fat for fuel and metabolize it into ketones, Since your gallbladder and your liver are the two that are most responsible for fat metabolism, your liver and your gallbladder both need to be in their best shape in order to get the best results from fasting and detoxing and cleansing overall, right? So your body's just your kidneys and your liver are both filters, and they need to be available to do these processes that we're going for in this program and course. All right. So the other one is the 7-day parasite and candida cleanse. So, like I was saying, parasite cleansing specifically is one of those things that's been happening for generations. We just kind of lost track of it. Even before, I was reading some medical articles from like the late 1800s, like the pioneer days, and they were talking about how the physicians would go from town to town with their little tincture, and they would have everybody in town line up, and they would administer it with a spoon or maybe with some sugar, and they would take their pine gum spirits, and everybody would have a valve movement. The parasites would clear. Many times they'd see little tapeworms or roundworms or whatever kind of worms in their stool, and then they would measure the length of them to see what was going on, and people would move along on their merry way. So I know back then life was different. People were more in the dirt with their bare feet and hands, especially little kids. Running around, were getting parasites that come in through their pores of their feet and then through their hands as well. So that was more common. But we think of us being more modernized these days, but what actually is true is that we have more parasites in our intestinal system than we did before because of the handling of the improper handling of food, and then also undercooking meat. So you can find parasites, larvae, or the actual parasites themselves in undercooked meat, especially red meat and pork, and also in vegetables. So because if you think about it, these animals are living in the dirt. They're eating plants from the dirt or eating grain from the ground, and in the same environment, in the same ecosystem as parasites, right? And we are too, right? We put our feet in grass, we walk on the dirt, and that's where these little parasites live. So that's just part of our ecosystem. It's not good or bad. It's just part of us, right? So we have bacteria all over that we don't necessarily see unless it, causes a rash or some kind of imbalance in your body. But just know that it's really important to cook your meat very well, especially if you're going out to dinner. Make sure you ask for it well done or well cooked, so that way you are killing off any of the parasites that might be in there. And then cooking your vegetables pretty good, and washing them. But cooking them really is the best way to start to rid them. However, I do recommend that you do a parasite and candida cleanse at least once a year in the spring, along with the 7-day liver detox. So Candida is actually a fungus that is naturally found in our bodies, but with excess stress, with excess sugar intake, excess processed food intake, we tend to cause a overgrowth of it in our intestinal system, which causes many things. It causes bloating, it causes irritability, abdominal pain, brain fog, maybe itchy skin or rash, some joint pain, shoulder and neck tension, jaw clenching, just internal inflammation, and just overall discomfort, plus, of course, fatigue and lowered immunity. So if you're experiencing any of those things, you most likely have Candida. If you have parasites, you most likely have Candida. If you have Candida, you most likely have an overage of parasites as well. So it's really important to clear those out and start with a good, healthy foundation. We can eliminate a lot of factors, eliminate a lot of negative symptoms before we dive into the body fat loss aspect of all this. So that's why I believe it's really important. Actually, I know it's really important that you participate in these two, the 7-day liver detox and the 7-day candida and parasite cleanse. So with clearing candida and parasites, there is a supplement that I like to recommend. It's called pine gum spirits of turpentine, which is actually tapped from pine gum trees specific to Georgia. There's actually a family farm in Georgia that has all of these beautiful pine gum trees, and they tap them just like you would molasses in a oak tree. And you have actually pictures on their website of their little farm, and they tap them and then have bags underneath or buckets that collects the pine gum from it. And don't confuse turpentine, this pine gum spirits of turpentine, with turpentine that you get at Home Depot or your local store, hardware store, because it's not the same. It's a totally different chemical component. And if you look up turpentine online, it's just going to tell you it's toxic, don't ingest it. Yeah, you should not ingest that kind of turpentine. But pine gum spirits is actually the natural antibiotic that's God put in these amazing trees, so that when they do get injured or cut, or they have bugs infesting them, that they will stay healthy and not die off. So generations ago, people were using that on a regular basis to clear parasites and candida. So most times, most practitioners, if you've done this before, most practitioners will have you do a candida and parasite cleanse for a month or two. But using the pine gum spirits, you're able to clear it within 5 to, I think, 8 days is the most I've seen a client on it. And it's only a small amount. You take it with a little teaspoon of sugar with some drops of it on there. It actually tastes really good. It tastes like black licorice. So you can do that. I give it to my kids, my family. We do it once a year, parasite candida cleanse. It can also be used as a natural antibiotic. And if you would like more information on that, how to do that, let me know. You can also do, if you don't feel comfortable with the pine gum spirits of turpentine, you can also do diatomaceous earth. So there's a product that I recommend for that. However, it does take an additional month to do it that way. Or same thing with the liver detoxing, or sorry, with the parasite cleanse and the candida cleanse. Each of those two takes a month. So it takes a total of 2 months to clear it using the diatomaceous earth and another supplement by Solar Ray that works on yeast. So that's an option too if you don't feel comfortable with the pine gum spirits. But if you go to my book, you will find all the instructions. Let me see what chapter it's in actually, on exactly how to do these cleanses and detoxes. Here we go. Chapter 5, I don't know if you can see it, but chapter 5, it's the liver detox. The liver detox includes a delicious 7-day meal plan, and there's no supplements that you need to take. It's just the meal plan itself to help where you're taking in foods, just like I was saying about detoxing. You're taking in specific foods to help to clean out your liver. And although your liver naturally does detoxify itself, because of the condition of our world today, because of our environment, because the foods we ingest and the stress in our lives, it tends to get overwhelmed, and giving it a little boost once a year is super helpful. And then we have parasite and candida cleansing in the next chapter, in chapter 6, and it tells you exactly how to do it. It's a little chapter on the blessings of pine gum spirits, and it also includes a meal plan that's super tasty as well, and or using the diatomaceous earth, it says here on this page here. So if you would like a copy, they're $14.99 on Amazon. You can look me up, or I'll share the link with you all on how to find it. Actually, better than that, you can go to my website, cynthiaray.com, or the website for the book. It's yourfatlosafter40.com, and you can find all the book and all the resources that you need to go along with the book. This is actually something too that we do together in a group. We're going to be using, now that the book's out, we're going to be using the book for the first time as a group, and going through the course. The course is 8 lessons. So starting with what mindset stuff, and starting out with nutrition and fitness, like we've been doing this week, but more in depth and more detailed. We go through it together as a group and implement it together, and have weekly Q&A sessions as a group. And it's just a really tight support system. I consider it my inner circle group, which is the Ageless Body Blueprint. So September 9th, if you'd like to join us for that, we'll be starting up around 5. And this is the first time we're going to be using the book as a resource tool to kind of take notes or go back and mark it up, highlight things that you want to know or have as a resource for you and your family. So, okay, what was I going to say about parasites and let's go back to liver. So liver detoxing. So what's really cool is that many times when we go to the doctor, or not many times, we go to the doctor, and let's say you do blood work and it turns out you have elevated cholesterol, or you just know you've had it. Many times the doctor will tell you, okay, we'll eat foods that are higher in lower in saturated fat and higher in soluble fiber in order to clear the cholesterol from your system. However, what we know now, I've been teaching that for years too, but what we know now is that elevated cholesterol isn't necessarily a dietary issue. I mean, it could be partially, but it's mostly an issue of your liver being over toxified, right? So many people do not do a liver detox. And if their liver is clogged and when we do eat fat, saturated fat, healthy fats, whatever, that's our primary place where fats are metabolized, like I said. And if your liver is clogged, your the fats you ingest won't be able to be fully metabolized and end up circulating in your bloodstream, which turns out to be elevated cholesterol and LDLs, or low density lipoproteins. So, it's a high density, low density, and very low density. So, cholesterol or lipoprotein circulating in your bloodstream. However, it could be because you need to do a liver detox. And I've had clients, actually have a client and a group member, Diane Hall, and she shared with us a few months back when we did this last time that she had gone to the doctor and knew her cholesterol was high over the years. But after she got her checkup and after she did the liver detox, her cholesterol levels were significantly reduced. And she was totally surprised, wasn't even expecting it. So if you have elevated cholesterol, I highly encourage you to do a 7-day liver detox first before you start going to medication or having to make some huge life-changing alterations to your diet. So I would recommend that. Okay. All right, and then parasite cleansing, going back to that, you're just going to do this meal plan that I have for you. It's tasty recipes. I loved it. There was a certain recipe in there for a salad, and the homemade dressing was so easy to make and so good. I continue making it and keep it as a part of my daily diet anyway. So these are all custom meal plans that I've created and are specific for these particular things for cleansing and detoxing. So I hope that can be a blessing to you. Okay, so let me know. I'm kind of curious. Let me know in the comments if you've ever done a liver detox or if you've ever done a parasite and candida cleanse and how it helped you. I know I've done it with the group and everything, but what actually brought me to knowing about pine gum spirits of turpentine was my friend Cindy Ray, and many of you know her. She works with me as a holistic practitioner, and when we first met, we were hanging out at her house and getting to know each other. And towards the end of our conversation, she was saying, "Oh yeah, I had a friend come over last night. She did a little class and shared with a group how to get rid of candida." And we were talking about pine gum spirits of turpentine. I'm like, "Oh my gosh, wait a second. What did you just say?" Because literally 2 days before, my husband and I were going for a walk by the lake here in Coeur d'Alene, this beautiful lake, nice afternoon, and he had just gotten a text and realized that his practitioner said that he had candida come back again, and he had been working so hard several times, diligently following the candida protocol to get rid of it, got rid of it, and then it came back every time. So I got that. After I heard the news, I was so frustrated. I remember looking out at the lake and like saying, "God, I'm over this," right? In prayer, "God, I'm so over this." I declared, I'm like, "Lord, I know that you have the exact remedy that we need to kill off this bug," right? Because I told him, I said, "On earth as it is in heaven, that I declare that we have perfection and we have authority and dominion over candida and parasites, and that I am asking to receive, and I would like you, I need you to tell me exactly what it is that we need to take to get rid of this thing." So that happened just 2 days before I met with my friend Cindy. And as soon as she said a remedy for candida, I was like, "Oh my gosh," red light went on. And I asked her about it, and she's like, "Yeah, I have some here. Take some home." She muscle tested my husband to see what dosage he needed. I called him right away on the way home, and he started taking it. And within days, his bloating was gone. His discomfort in his abdomen was gone. A lot of air and gas he had was gone, and just feeling normal again. He just wanted to be able to eat normally again, to be able to have a beer once in a while and not feel like he had a horrible headache or brain fog or horrible fatigue, but be able to live his life freely. And that truly was an answer to prayer. And I'm so excited to share with anybody I can who's open to learning new things, and who really like to learn, I guess, I don't know how to describe this, learn things that are unconventional, but are really amazing, and are really healing for your body. So anyway, I hope that helps. All right, so let's talk about how to lose weight. Okay, so as far as weight loss goes, I told you, I think it was on day 2, we started talking about nutrition, but how to lose weight. So we have calories versus keto, right? So traditionally, we would say that calories in, calories out, the more calories you reduce and the more you move, then you'll lose body fat, which is true, but for a short period of time. Like I said before, if you're reducing your calories and calories, bringing them down and down, your metabolism is going to adjust and adapt to equal how many calories you're intaking, and weight loss will no longer happen. You'll hit a stall, you'll hit a plateau, and you're really hungry, but your body fat isn't moving anywhere. So, an opposition to that is using ketosis, using your secondary energy system to tap in metabolically, to tap into body fat for fuel and break it down. I talk all about this in lesson 2. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. Day 2, lesson 2. Um, and teach you all about how your body breaks down fat for fuel. So it's nice because a lot of times people will go on a ketogenic diet and eat keto food, which I don't recommend doing 100% because you're just going to set yourself up for failure. It's impossible to follow something or anything 100%. That's why I love living and teaching the 80-20 rule, where you're eating on point or healthfully for yourself 80% of the time, and 20% of the time you're enjoying foods that are outside of the meal plan, but are still equally enjoyable and feeding your soul, and enjoying time connecting with family with eating special foods. So, anyway, so if you're eating keto and you are going to slowly go into ketosis, usually takes about a day or two, eating 100% keto. It takes some time and you will get there, but it's unsustainable because you can't eat that way forever. Your body is going to crave carbohydrates, at least a little bit more at some point. So the nice thing about fasting is that just by not eating for short periods of time or even longer periods of time, your body will get into ketosis much more quickly than eating ketogenic food and waiting for the process to possibly happen. Another thing too is you will not go into ketosis very much or very deep if your liver is clogged up. Your liver has to be clear in order to start to use body fat for fuel and to metabolize it efficiently. So if you have noticed, if you have been fasting or been doing keto and your ketone readings aren't getting high at all, it's most likely because your liver needs to be detoxified, or you've got a lot of stress going on in your body, and you need to learn how to manage stress healthfully and get some of that oxytocin flowing, those feel-good hormones, by connecting with somebody and having a meaningful conversation with them, by getting some nice hugs and cuddles, by petting your favorite pet, and just connecting with people. You'll start to get that oxytocin flowing, which will help to combat some of that stress-inducing cortisol. So make sure that that's a part of your life as well. Okay. So just know too that ketosis is not safe for diabetics. You have to be very careful with that. It can be very toxic and actually be life-threatening. So if you are diabetic, you want to talk to your doctor, hopefully a doctor that understands fasting for weight loss, and they can help you navigate that. Or if you search on YouTube for a practitioner who's experienced in that area, you'll get some really great information on that. If you want to work with me one-on-one and you're diabetic, I'm more than happy to help you navigate body fat loss, even with diabetes. Also, ketosis is not a good thing for children, and especially for children who are still growing. So, which could be all the way up into the early adult years. So in the early 20s, boys and girls, men and women, are still growing and need to make sure that they're not fasting, that they're not going into ketosis, because they need all of the energy that they need to continue growing in a healthy way. Also, if fasting isn't good for people who are recovered from eating disorders, who have struggled with eating disorders or currently struggle with eating disordered behavior. Even binge eating, that can be complicated, because if you're still struggling with emotional eating and binge eating in general, restricting yourself from food and then can actually set you up for a binge. So depending on where you're at, you're the best judge of yourself, but just know that this type of thing isn't necessarily good for people who are struggling with those issues. Also, if you're on a lot of medication, you also want to talk to your physician about fasting, because you want to make sure that you're not throwing off your medication regimen, especially if you need to be eating with it. Again, I'm a registered dietitian and fitness specialist, registered and licensed dietitian. So I work more in the clinical arena of nutrition. So if you need help with managing medication, along with weight loss or body fat loss, I'm happy to help. Reach out to me. We can meet for a one-on-one session, or even if you just want to meet with me for a 30-minute consult, we can do that as well. Just reach out to me. You can send me a message on Messenger or comment on this post. Okay, let's see what else you want to talk about today. You want to make sure that you are getting plenty of water in. You want to make sure that if you're eating fruits, you want to make sure you're eating ones that are more low glycemic, like berries and citrus fruit, things like that, a little bit more low glycemic. Green apples, even apples are more glycemic. And then avoiding or minimally eating higher glycemic fruits like melons and pineapple, and what else? Bananas, those that spike your blood sugar a little bit more. You want to, like I said the other day, you want to keep your blood sugar under the insulin radar so that you continue to use body fat for fuel. Okay. So just know too, I know the carnivore diet is really popular these days and people are talking about it. But just know that these kinds of diets should be short-term, not a long-term thing, because you want to make sure that you're not limiting any nutrients that your body needs by cutting out a lot of different foods and only eating a couple different types of foods. But again, you know your body. Let me know if you have questions about that, if you need help navigating some of these more questionable areas. I'm happy to help. Let's see. Oh, also to know that there are different metabolic types. You may or may not have heard this before, but we have carb type, protein type, and mixed type. And I believe there's other terminology for this, but these metabolic types. So if you're more of a carb type, you just tend to run better on a little bit of a higher carbohydrate load, not a ton of it, but a little bit higher. If you are mixed type, you run on a combination of carbohydrates and protein better. And then if you are protein type, you tend to run better, have the best energy with protein and fats. So if you are all trying to do keto, but let's say you're a carb type, it's going to be a little bit harder, but giving yourself at least 1 to 2 servings of carbohydrates per day, nature's carbs, potatoes, sweet potatoes, new potatoes, different grains, you can do that. Some veggies will help too, starchy vegetables. Will help to reduce those cravings for carbs, but making sure to get that in. And then if you are a mixed type, making sure to get a little bit of both in. And then if protein type, like me, I run the best on protein and healthy fats. Plus, as you begin to eat according to how I was sharing on Tuesday, eating more of those fats and proteins with some carbohydrates, you're going to be conditioning your body to prefer using fats for fuel, which is really cool, instead of carbohydrates. So something to consider. Just keep that in mind that some people crave carbs more than others, and that's okay. But making sure to give yourself nature's carbs instead of processed carbs, including breads, which is actually a processed carb, cereals, processed carb, and any other kind of processed carbs, packaged things like that. Pastas, noodles, stuff like that are the ones that you should avoid. Not that you can't eat them, but again, remember 80-20, 80% of the time avoid it. And once in a while, if you want to enjoy it, then go for it. If it makes you feel better, then eat it. If it makes you feel worse, then limit how much you're taking in. All right. So the key is, before as I finish up here, the key is that our bodies are actually wired and designed for survival. So over time, as you're fasting, as you're eating keto, as you're exercising, your body is amazing at adapting for survival. So if you're giving it something brand new, it's going to shake it up a little bit, and then you're going to start to lose a little bit more weight and see a shift in your body. And then over time, your body will start to adapt to that for survival. So then every 6 to 8 weeks, you want to change up your diet a little bit, maybe take a break from fasting for 7 to 10 days. Actually, one of my clients right now is doing that and kind of resetting her metabolism. And then we're going to jump back into fasting and shake things up again. So that's just one thing to keep in mind too. Weight loss is very elusive. I've been working as a private practice dietitian for about 30 years. And I used to teach calories in, calories out and do all these calculations for people for weight loss. And it's very tricky. There's so many factors that are involved, how much stress is going on in your life, the toxic load in your organs, your body adapting. We always have to make changes and find out what is the best course of action to help people get over weight loss plateaus. Again, that's something I can help you with. If you want to work with me one-on-one, we can hash that out together and I can walk you through the process. All right. So I was telling you a testimonial earlier about my client and group member, Diane, who did the liver detox. And then she started, her cholesterol levels were higher before. She went to the doctor and they redid her blood work and came back and told her that her cholesterol was significantly depleted, which is really cool. And then it's interesting, just a couple of days ago, I met with one of the other clients, Maribel, and she had just finished the 7-day liver detox and parasite cleanse. And she told me that with the liver detox, she felt like quickly a big change. She was, I think, 3 to 4 pounds lighter within that week already and just felt better. She wasn't really even fasting. She was just eating the liver detox foods, which actually are really tasty. Most people, actually, probably everybody that I've talked to really loves that meal plan. And then this past week, she just finished the Parasite Candida cleanse. And I just spoke with her in our session the other day, and she was saying that she feels so light and the bloating has gone down in her stomach and her tummy's really flat. It's never been that way in a long time. She actually used to have some bloating going on. So getting rid of those parasites, getting rid of that Candida makes a huge difference, especially if you have any gut dysbiosis or dysregulation in the past and really struggled with gas or bloating or constipation, or just pain. I would highly recommend to start fasting to give your digestive system a break, but then also doing the Parasite Candida cleanse with the pine gum spirits of turpentine. So I hope that helped today. Try to giving you as much information as I can in these 30 minutes. Tomorrow is our last day, our day 5. I will be summarizing all the things we talked about this week, bring it all together, teaching you some advanced techniques for a fasting lifestyle. You're learning all so much here, but it's just really the tip of the iceberg. I have my Ageless Body Blueprint group coming up where we dive in and do it as a community together with other women who have been on this journey, doing amazing. I've been sharing with you about them all this week, and I would love to have you be my next testimony and next success story in the round of the Ageless Body Blueprint round 5. It's starting up September 9th. So registration will open on Friday, tomorrow. And if you'd like to join, let me know. I can get you those details. Or if you want to set up a 30-minute consult with me for free, we can discuss the course and the options that we have and what would be the best fit for you. So today's homework, let's see if I have today's homework down here. Okay. So today's homework is to go back and watch the videos that you may have missed from earlier this week, get your workout in for the day, create your why if you haven't done that already, and then continue with your fasting schedule. If you want to go up to 16 hours or 18 hours this week, today, give it a go and let us know how it went. And once you've completed that, share that in the comments wherever you're watching this, whether it's on YouTube or whether it's on email. They watch the replay on email or on Facebook. Comment that you've completed the homework, and I will enter you into the raffle for tomorrow, which is our last day of prizes and giveaways. So if you've been enjoying these videos, I encourage you to take a look at my YouTube channel. If you're watching this on YouTube, you're there already. My YouTube channel is Cynthia A. Ray, Registered Dietitian. And I have a lot of videos in there, lots of library, a variety of videos of interviews with amazing professional women in this field. We have group classes that I share videos about there, some short videos too with some inspiration. So take a look at that. If you really enjoy it, like and subscribe so that you can get updates when new videos come out or when I begin the lesson for the day for this class. So anyway, I hope you've been enjoying this week, and I will talk to you soon. Take care. Bye.